Hello, anybody watching this. This is Chris, host of the channel Comic Tropes, and I have decided to launch a second channel. I'm calling it Pros and Cons. Get it? It's kind of like a pun. And this will be where I can do live streaming and maybe put down the road interviews with guests. That's my plan right now. The idea is that doing a bunch of live streams on my channel that's about comic book reviews was, potentially not the content that everybody wants. So I'm creating this channel dedicated to just that. Looks like we've got some people showing up. That's amazing. Hello, Iron Shell. I'm going to grab a link here to share this. I just realized that would be an important thing to potentially do for people. So let's see. I'll copy that. I'm just opening up another window real quick to tell some people that this is something I'm doing. But I'm happy to take any questions, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I've picked up here in Japan. And I'll explain why I'm live streaming in just a sec. Okay, from live streaming from my Tokyo hotel room on my new channel. That's what I'll say right now. So I just tweeted that. Maybe that'll get out to a few more people. There. So hello to Iron Shell and Elmer Sr. Nice to see both of you. Anyway, Chrissy and I have been just doing a million things, and it's only 3 o'clock here, and I was just pretty exhausted. So she wanted to do some more shopping at some clothing stores, and she's like, just go ahead and head back to the hotel and just relax for a while I do this shopping. I was like, are you sure you feel safe? She's like, yeah, it's the afternoon. And I was like, all right. So yeah, basically I'm just tired, and I was like, if I'm gonna just hang out here in my hotel room, maybe I can at least do a short live stream and talk to some of my folks. So let's say, oh hi, you caught me waiting for my pies baking in the oven. Oh, okay. Greetings, yes, konnichiwa, watchful and harmonious subscriber. Hello, Dakota Wright, and hello, Lawrence Dunn. Yeah, first live stream. I got to start it somewhere. So in the future, when I try to draw and do a live stream and take questions from you guys and connect, because that really is important to me. I like talking to all of you and connecting in that way and trying to understand what other people care about in the world of comics. Getting feedback, feedback is important. So I like doing live streams, but looking closely at my analytics, it looked like doing so many live streams this year for Inktober probably did not really help my channel. I think it helped the first couple of years because I was still growing to a certain level. Now it's gotten to a point where, a sizable chunk of the audience just doesn't really have much interest in those live streams. And I can understand that. I mean, it's a very different type of content than my, more polished, edited reviews. So yeah, that's part of the point of putting this together. But let's see, what do I have to show? So last night was fun. Last night I went to an event. They have them in a lot of cities. But here, it's called Dr. Sketchies. It's a life drawing thing that you can do at various cities. And they have one in Tokyo, and I've actually done it before. And I happened to be lucky enough that there was one going on last night. And I went. Great model, good experience. By the way, drawing from life, super, super valuable. Also, they're timed poses. You've got something like 5 2-minute poses, maybe 3 5-minute poses, 3 10-minute poses, and then a 20-minute pose. So it really loosens you up. It loosens you up and forces you to focus on the form or at least some particular area of detail. And I think it's really, really helpful. So that was something I did last night. And here, I'll pull out my art. I don't think it was that great. But again, the point isn't necessarily to make excellent polished art. It's to loosen up and focus on the fundamentals. So I'm just pulling out my sketchbook from last night and take a look at what's in here. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to ask them. Can everybody hear me okay, by the way? It looks like my microphone's picking things up, but just making sure. Loud and clear. Okay. Hello, folks. I sound fine. Good. That's great to hear. That's great because I'm just streaming from my Surface. So, here, I'll pull out. This was my last one. This was the 20-minute pose. Am I centering that? Yeah. So, is it the best artwork in the world? No. But it focuses on the form and the dimensions and the properties. So that was kind of fun. And then what else did I do? Like, let's find some of the faster ones that we banged out. Okay, I mean, just sort of like, standing upright. And I know that I didn't like, have her whole head or her legs, but, I was just sort of focusing on the torso a lot last night. Here's one just sort of sitting. Again, most of these are pretty unfinished depending on how much time I had to work on it. One like that. What else? These were like, the 2 minutes, so I didn't even really get like her face really in there. It's just sort of like the barest block and stuff like that. But one fun thing that they have at Dr. Sketchy's is, and by the way, it's a good deal because like you pay something like, $10 or something like that, and you get like, several hours of a live model. They do a burlesque show in the middle, so that's kind of fun. And then you get like a drink ticket. Like, how is that not worth your money, right? And then they have like usually a contest, and they had one for like the one of like the 10-minute poses. The model could choose 3 people in the audience to be contestants that would stand up on stage and win a prize. And she picked me as one of the 3. The theme was under the sea. You had to like somehow make it like look, like it had something to do with the sea. So I just put in a shark, and for some reason that cracked the model up. And so I got to be up on stage and I won a drink. That was fun. So that was fun. So that was what I did last night. Had some drinks. Oh, and I got to meet a professional comic book artist there. This past weekend, just before I arrived, was Tokyo Comic-Con. That's their big comic book convention, and they have lots of professionals come from out of town. One of those guys happened to go to the Dr. Sketchy's last night, and I met him. Really, really friendly, smart guy, talented artist. His name is Andrew Griffith, and he works for IDW, illustrating the Transformers comics. So I got to ask him like a few technical questions about how you approach that, because drawing Transformers strikes me as unlike any other comic you could do, because almost every other comic you're going to be drawing people, and you might be drawing like buildings and cars. My point is, you're drawing for the most part real things, especially superheroes. You're drawing idealized people for the most part, and some other people and stuff like that. But a Transformer doesn't share the right body proportions. Like you can't exactly, and they're all different from each other. So it's like if you want to draw Soundwave, and you want to draw Starscream, and you want to draw Optimus Prime, and you want to draw Bumblebee, I mean, maybe you could do a stick figure like layout for before you draw the actual page, but you aren't approaching it the same way. And I was like asking him, like, like, how do you do that? Like how, and he's just like, you just sort of have to take it panel by panel. It's not as easy to block out. He has like this tiny, like 6-inch ruler that he can just always like swivel around the page so that he's got nice straight lines, because you have to have really straight lines. You can't freehand Transformers and have it look good. And then, no, I didn't win sake. I won some sort of like grapefruit and gin drink. It was delightful. But anyway, that was just what they gave me. And so I was just talking to him about that, and I was like, do you have reference? Do you have digital models? No, he didn't have that. He said sometimes he'll have some of the high-end toys, and that can be very helpful. It was just interesting to talk to, because that was a very different way of making comic books. I got a bunch of Gachapon for giving away as prizes, and I also got myself something. It's a blind box here. I think I'll open it right now on camera. We'll do this like quick unboxing, and we'll see what I got. I'm hoping that it's Kaneda on the bike, but I'd definitely be happy with any of these. We've got like one of the Esper kids. We've got Tetsuo, and yeah, this is another of Kaneda with a gun. It's from like one of the covers. It's pretty famous. So let's open it up, and it is okay. Well, it's Kaneda. It's not on the bike, but it's Kaneda with the gun. And there's something else in here. It looks like a stand or something. Yeah, just like a stand. So that's, oh no, it's cardboard. Why do I need cardboard? I don't know. But Akira is very popular here right now, especially. I mean, it's always popular, but in the original Japanese manga, Akira was set in 2019, and I think that they're like capitalizing on that. Today I went to an Akira art exhibit. It was pretty amazing. I got to see some original pages by Katsuhiro Otomo. There was a lot to learn from that. It was really amazing. I couldn't take photos of that, but it was fantastic to just sit there and look at them. Akira is a really important manga to me. It's something that like I get something new out of every time I look at it. It always feels new. It never feels old. I'm just really, really into Akira. So yeah, it came with like a little booklet here that like just sort of shows what you could have got, and I'm happy with what I got, but I definitely would have loved to have gotten the bike. We'll see. Maybe I'll risk it again, getting another one. It's the equivalent of like maybe $6.50. So, you know, not expensive, but also not cheap. Yeah, it comes with like a few pieces to make sort of a battleground disaster area. Pretty cool. I love Akira. So yeah, we've done plenty of weird shopping and stuff like that. Oh, I know what I got to show you guys. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm grabbing something. Oh, and that didn't look flattering. I also got this t-shirt at the Godzilla store the other day. I love Godzilla! All right, bear with me. I'm just off camera. I'm going to put something on and have it be a surprise reveal, all right? So bear with me as I try this out for the first time. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can tell this was a good idea. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Yep. Okay. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hi. I'm a Christmas tree. How's that look? Do I look smart? Do I look clever? Is this flattering? I think this is a good investment. I think this was smart. I think that I spent my money well. I worked hard, and this is the reward. You know, this is what I work for, to dress up like this and really present myself in a flattering way. I'm ready to get in the ring, do some high flying elbow drops, and also spread Christmas cheer. All right, this is kind of tight, but it is. That's a flattering look. Yeah, I feel good about that. This is smart. Sorry, but I saw that and I was like, yep, that's got my name on it. Ultimate muscle toe. There we go. Holy moly, El Santo Claus. Jeez, these are good for a Christmas themed heist. You guys are clever. I like that. El Santo Claus. There's some good ones there. Anyway, when I saw that, I had to get it. And now I've worn it once, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it a second time. Don't worry, it wasn't very expensive. This was pretty cheap. It was at what would you call it? Like a department store here called Don Quixote, and they just have a lot of interesting, weird stuff there. So yeah, tomorrow I record an episode. It'll be a while till you guys get to see that because it'll take me time to edit this and everything. But I'm going to actually be recording at YouTube Studios here in Tokyo, so that's pretty exciting. There's a part of me that's like a little nervous. You know, I want to do a good job on this episode and make it worth doing something different like this. But it's probably going to be about the same as every episode in some way. I don't know. Hopefully it's better, you know. It's exciting to think about, though. I'm going to get to play with some really amazing equipment, and have an actual like studio. Hopefully, I nail the lighting and the sound and stuff like that. That's the stuff I'm nervous about. It's going to be working in a completely different environment. Uh, Hopefully, I've learned some lessons over the time. By the way, I know that like the last couple of episodes, I've had like issues with like lighting and stuff like that as I've gotten used to my new DSLR. All I can say is I'm pretty sure I nailed the latest episode, which is up for patrons now. It's a Patreon exclusive until Sunday, and then everybody gets to see it. But I think I finally got like the focus and the lighting and all of that, like the framing right. So I feel good about it. It took me a little while to figure out the new camera, but I feel good about it right now, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I really do. A YouTube studio, how did that come about? YouTube has studios in like 4 cities permanently, and then like another 2 as pop-ups. Oh, I'm glad you got to see it already, Lawrence. That's awesome. So what else? They're in, I think, New York, LA, London, and Tokyo. And I was like, well, I'll be in Tokyo. And you have to have like a certain subscriber threshold. It's not that many, but whatever it is, there is a threshold. And once you hit that threshold, you're allowed to book one of the studios here. And here in Japan, they have 4 studios. And just a ton of equipment that you can rent. They also have editing suites and stuff like that. I'm not going to bother editing it there. That just sounds, I don't know. I'm not going to use my vacation time editing. I'll use a little bit of it recording something. And yeah, they have 4 very different types of studios. One is like, just like one of those sloped white like shooting canvases, so that there's like, you can be standing in like sort of a white negative space. There's another that's sort of like a news desk type of area. Another is just sort of like a big studio where you can like construct actual sets and things like that, if I'm remembering right. And the one that I booked actually has a window behind it, like, all the way to the ceiling, floor to ceiling. And it's got a great view of Tokyo, like including Tokyo Tower. So I thought that would be interesting to have as a backdrop. Got to share this page in a Facebook group. Okay, well, I appreciate it. What type of typical breakfast do they serve in Japan? I would say that some of the, like, egg has got to be one of the most common things here, and fish to a degree. Odd to be on one of your live streams and you're not drawing. Right. Yeah. This one probably won't be quite as long as, like an hour or 2 hours or anything like that. Anyway, they really love egg here. So they put egg on like everything. So they love it for breakfast, but they'll put it on like anything. Like, they'll just be like, here you go. Like, yeah, I guess it's not weird to think like, okay, like soup, ramen, soba, udon, some sort of noodle dish. They put some meat in there and some spices, and then they're just like crack raw egg on top. Love it. They'll put a fried egg on most things that they make. And then, like, even if they give you like prime rib or something, they'll be like, and an egg. You'd be like, maybe not an egg this time. So that's something that they like. I don't necessarily see a lot of breakfast places here. It seems like they probably do more either like, cook something small at home, have like, like a oatmeal or a power bar, things like that, like really simple for breakfast. Yeah, they definitely eat a little differently here. They have a Denny's here, and I looked at the menu out of curiosity, and the Denny's has like an incredibly seafood heavy menu. It's like just seafood, like just really radically different than what we have in the States. I'm not really near Katsuhika City. I'm sorry. That's. I appreciate the suggestion. I'm just not. You mentioned interviews on Twitter. Who are you looking to interview? I don't have any plans. Just for the record, like right now, I don't have anybody lined up or anything like that. But I've always enjoyed doing interviews. I used to have a podcast before I started my channel. I did that for like 7 years, and for a long time, I would have a segment on it where I interviewed like actors, writers, producers, special effects people, stunt people from TV shows, voice actors. So I got to meet like a lot of really amazing people, like people that have gone on to do some amazing things. The folks from Game of Thrones and Stan Lee and the guys that did Rick and Morty and a ton of other shows. Back then, like, when I was doing it, it was like a lot of Lost and Battlestar Galactica, Doctor Who, people like that. So I really enjoyed could I get Phoenix Jones for an interview? I already did. I did an episode with him. Go ahead and look that up. Comic Tropes Phoenix Jones. I talked to him about Batman in the real world. So lots of vending machines. I've heard they have the most per capita. That's absolutely true. You can find a vending machine everywhere you look. It's not hard to find a vending machine. I don't think I'm eligible for super chats until like I have a certain number of subscribers or a certain number of videos. This new channel is just too new, but that's okay. I appreciate the question. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to be shooting an episode here tomorrow. And aside from that, I'm just like having fun. I am also making bought any manga yet for this trip? I'll get back to that question in a sec, Dom. I'm also recording like what will be like sort of a bonus episode, just sort of cool nerdy things to do here in Tokyo. Maybe you've seen stuff like this in other videos, but I figured it can't hurt to show it from my perspective, some of the fun things that I've done here. So I'll keep some of that a surprise. There's a lot of places that I've gone that are really cool. You just want to give my money. Well, I've always got what do you call it? Coffee, ko-fi.com/comic tropes. You can always donate a one-time tip there, just so that for the record. Have I bought any manga yet? Yes. One thing. Give me a moment. I'm trying to think of where I put that bag. I'm in the hotel room, so it couldn't be too far away. One moment. Let me look. I'm just off to the side here. Totally normal to walk away from your own own the channel, right? Just walking away. All right, bear with me, because I went to a place called Mandarake, which is essentially a chain of stores. Yeah, here it is. It's a great place because they focus on vintage stuff, both toys and comics. Not so much the new stuff. You can find so many cool things. Can I get into an impromptu ninja battle and live stream it? Sure. I challenge any ninjas to hop out of the curtains or the bathroom, whatever, and fight me. Let's see. So I was at Mandarake and I got myself two things. Bear with me as I get this. One thing I wanted to look up that you cannot find back in America. Dojushin. And I might be slightly mispronouncing that, but Dojushin is fan-made manga. And specifically, it tends to be fan-made that uses existing licensed properties. Back in the States, most companies would crack down on that. Here in Japan, it would technically still be illegal, but they're a little looser with how they enforce it. And a lot of dojushin also is yaoi, like boy-on-boy love. Doesn't tend to have sex per se, just like has like boys falling in love. And so one thing I wanted to look up was, I'm really into Ninja Turtles. I was like, let me find the Ninja Turtles section of dojushin. And there's a lot. It'll be in my video. But I found one that looked really weird, and I had to pick it up. Cool Guys Upright. I know it's reading backwards on this camera. And it seems to be about Leonardo and Donatello being in love. And we've got sort of like the version from like their second animated show. We've got like the live action movie versions, like the CG animated versions, and the Nickelodeon show. And it's about them being in love. I think. So that's a weird comic that I just picked up because I was like, I ain't going to find anything like this back home. It says, Cool Color Bros Freedom Anthology for Ladies. It's an anthology for ladies. I had to. I was like, I love Ninja Turtles. This is totally unique. And then the other thing I picked up was I've always loved Transformers. If you guys been watching the channel, you know that I once made an episode showing like about 30 pages of this Transformers comic that I made when I was 10 years old. And when I saw this thing at Mandarake, I had to get it. This was exclusive to Japan. So this is called Gtr Maximus. It's officially licensed by Nissan. My favorite car, the GTR Skyline. So I was like, oh man, my favorite car is a Transformer. I did not know that. And so when I saw this, I had to get it. It wasn't cheap, but then I looked online and they're going for like twice what they were selling it for on like eBay, like completed auctions. So I was like, okay, if then it's at least at a fair price. And as long as I don't feel like I'm getting tricked or anything, like if it's a good price, then it's worth it to me because I love this idea. It's really solid. So yeah, this is a Nissan GTR. And for some reason, it comes with like this female action figure too. And so for a minute, I was wondering if this was from Kiss Masters. But no, it's not branded as a Kiss Masters. Oh, maybe I should do that review for the channel someday. I don't know if you guys know anything about Kiss Masters, but there was this time period where Transformers didn't have like a cartoon, and it went into, but the toys were still very popular here in Japan. And there was something, somebody knows what I'm talking about, Iron Shell. I've actually reviewed some of this on, back when I was the editor for therobotspyjamas.com, which I did for many years as well. I got to talk about that for a Comic Tropes. It's so hard to explain. In Japan, the animated show continued for another 3 seasons. Like it ended in America, but it actually continued, same continuity and everything, continued for another 3 years over here in Japan. After that ended, they basically like did some story pages that you'd call them, like just like 1 or 2 page comics. They would sort of introduce all the new toys that were coming out, like, you know, that quarter or whatever. And those would be released like in a lot of different places, like advertising circulars and stuff like that. And you guys are funny. Whether the Ninja Turtles are actual siblings or just adopted siblings depends on the story version that you're reading, Shane. They've been different in different things. So there were those story pages, and then they needed like a new sort of story, and they came up with a new gimmick that Transformers could only transform if they were kissed by hot teenage girls. Not making that up. I'm not. And the comics are so perverted. There's like these Megatron clones that have tongues that just look like literal penises, always chasing down hot girls and stuff. And Hot Rod is the main character, and when he gets kissed by this human girl, he can transform. It's bizarre. And so they came with like these sort of like action figures, but they were even smaller. And it was called Kiss Masters. It's probably the weirdest era of Transformers. How's Japan? Japan is awesome. So yeah, I got a few weird things. I got the Transformer based on my favorite car. I got a little Akira sculpture. I got some weird yaoi Ninja Turtles comic, and a few other like odds and ends, including lots of gachapon for all of you. Kiss Masters is canon. I mean, it was officially licensed by Takara Tomy, who control Transformers over here. So yeah, it's canon. It's crazy. It's crazy. They worked hard over here with their manga to make all of Transformers like exist in like a multiverse. They roped in Beast Masters and Beast Machines. They roped in various toy lines that like sort of like had like just like a new version of Wheeljack or something. They were like, oh, this is why there's this version of Wheeljack versus like Wheeljack was dead from the movie. They have like this whole. It's too confusing, honestly. It wouldn't make for an interesting episode because they just worked way too hard. It feels like fanfic how hard they worked over here to make literally all the Transformers storylines fit together somehow. It's just not worth that effort. It's like, I think it's better to just like every once in a while reboot a property. That's what I think. Transformers had episodes in Japan that weren't shown in the US. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Like I said, they went for 3 seasons, and I actually reviewed every single episode of the Japanese cartoon on the robotspajamas.com. So there was there were 3 seasons. One was called Headmasters. One was called Super God Force Master Force or something. Super God Master Force. I think that's what it was called. It was a long time ago that I wrote these. And Transformers Victory. And then there was like one sort of episode for like another season, but it didn't go anywhere. But I reviewed all of them on the robotspajamas.com. I was thinking of like doing that for like the channel, but it just felt too disjointed, like it wasn't related to comic tropes enough. With the popularity of Mandalorian, you should think about doing an episode of Lone Wolf and Cub. I'm thinking about that a lot. Lone Wolf and Cub is dope. They love robot cartoons in Japan. They do. Do they sell American comics in Japan? Oh yeah, definitely. You have to go to like a comic book store as compared to like seeing it on the rack. But then again, they sell like a lot of comics at like their bookstores and stuff like that. So yeah, you can find most American comics. It looks like they tend to like them more here when they get collected into trade paperbacks. That seems to be how they prefer to read them, because I see plenty of trade paperbacks. I haven't really seen much in the way of single issues anywhere. I'm sure there are places that import them, but not many. But they definitely import like almost everything that's like a trade paperback. Like when I was at Mandarake, like I was just saying, which tends to focus more on vintage stuff, they had everything like, Justice League, Superman, Batman, X-Men, Avengers, and then Image stuff like Walking Dead or Monstrous and stuff. Hellboy. They had all of that. And it's got like, like a maybe a Japanese branded spine. Sorry that the lighting in this is not really balancing too well. But yeah, like it's in English. I have a bunch of Lone Wolf and Cub reprints. Well, I'll definitely think about reaching out to you, Shane. That would be interesting. Godzilla. Yeah, I love Godzilla, man. I got a Godzilla shirt on that I got here. Got the Godzilla store. I love Godzilla. I rewatched some of Godzilla King of All Monsters on the airplane, but I just couldn't get as into it the second time. I thought that I enjoyed it the first time. I mean, I guess I did, but I was like, there's way more human stuff, talk, and than I remembered. And so I would just fast forward to the big monster fights. And that was fun. Yeah, I saw a few movies on the plane. Let me think. What did I say? I saw 4 movies because it's a long flight and you got to pass the time somehow. And you can pull up like a lot of options. I saw Toy Story 4. That was pretty good. I saw Stuber. It's okay. It wasn't quite as laugh out loud funny as I would have hoped for from somebody like Kumail Nanjiani, who I think is really funny. Saw Shaft. It was like, it's okay. Oh, I saw Alita Battle Angel. I was not thinking that I'd like that one. I kind of liked it. That Alita Battle Angel movie was pretty entertaining, actually. Maybe it was just that I was a captive on the airplane or something like that, but I really enjoyed it. Let's see. Do you know that they had a separate Batman comic that was aimed at Japanese audiences? Yes, I have heard of that. You stoked for Kong versus Godzilla next year? Yeah, I won't learn my lesson, Dakota. I love big kaiju monster stuff, and especially if it has to do with Godzilla. I definitely love it. Tokyo nightlife is crazy good. There is. It depends on which town, like part of town you're in. I'm staying in Shibuya, which has a good nightlife. Roppongi Hills is like a little more upscale. I think like, we'll hit Harajuku, which is like more like teenage like stuff. It's pretty cool. Alita had a sad ending. Did it? Yeah, I guess a little bit. Anyway, it was decent. Robert Rodriguez gets a pass for me just because of From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, Dusk Till Dawn is pretty good. I agree. And I really loved his first two mariachi movies, El Mariachi and Desperado, but I really hated the third one. I thought that was garbage. And I never really watched his Spy Kids or Kids movies stuff. I think there's one or two other movies he's made that like I haven't been too into, but yeah. Terry Fox song Roppongi. Yeah. King of Monsters got me into Godzilla. Oh, okay. Though I only watched the ones with Ghidorah, like three-headed monster in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Sin City was good. Sin City was good. Sin City 2 was terrible for some reason, and I don't know why. I mean, it has like most of the same actors, the same people working on it and stuff, but it just was terrible. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Mexico just had too many characters and no real plot, and some really unlikable characters too. Like I literally hated Johnny Depp's character in that one. But anyway, what do I know? Yeah. Well, I guess I'm going to take off, guys. We're going to go back out in a little while. Chrissy's still out shopping, but what I'm going to do right now personally is I'm going to work a little bit more on the script for tomorrow's comic tropes that I'm recording in YouTube Studios. So I want to be sure that I do the best I can anyway. So I'm going to polish that up. It was fun talking to you all. Now I've got like a video on this channel. Got to make some more so that I can get like more and more, what do you call them, like perks or something like that. You got to sort of unlock stuff by getting more subscribers and more videos and stuff like that. Like it won't let me live stream from my phone right now. Anyway, have a good one. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Let's see. Okay, so it is, for me, today is Thanksgiving. So it's probably, I'm like 17 hours ahead of most of you, maybe more. But happy Thanksgiving, since I probably won't talk to any of you tomorrow, and you're going to probably be with your families and stuff like that. But thank you very much for jumping in and talking to me about Japan and stuff. Trust me, I have some really cool stuff that I'm making here for all of you, and I've got some really cool gachapon to start giving away. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. I hope everybody that's American has a fun, happy Thanksgiving. For the rest of my viewers, just hello and thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Eventually, I definitely hope to expand this channel to include interviews when I go to conventions. We'll see. No firm plans yet, but something I would very much like to get back into is doing some interviews. All right, everyone, keep reading comics. Take care.